So how's your week been, man? What you do?
What I do this week?
Obviously you worked, right?
Yeah,
You've been
working.
training?
Little bit of training.
Yeah.
I've been trying to fix my form. With the
With the
cleans,
snatches?
with
With the
the
cleans?
cleans. I don't even know what it's called, pero yeah, I realized that you're supposed to like lift when you lift it up, like you're supposed to hit it with your thighs.
Is it your thighs? I
Yeah.
always thought it was like your
Well,
pelvis.
I mean, it kind of depends on your structure.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna be a little bit different. For me, it's like my thighs. I kind of have to hit it like so. I feel it, and I actually have to hit it, and I didn't realize that it actually does help to lift it up.
Yeah.
So I've been working on that. Yes,
Have you been watching like YouTube videos and stuff, or
yeah,
mostly? Yeah.
yeah,
There's some good trainers on YouTube and Instagram. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, doing that. We, what else? I was out the other night or whatever. It was fun. Este, but yeah, ¿y tú qué, güey?
No, same thing, man. Just work, training. I don't, man. I wish I could do the same stuff like you. I wish my gym had a setup like that,
Yeah, dude.
where I could do.
You can't just do that
You
anywhere.
drop the weights too, then,
I
right?
drop it.
You
Yeah,
drop them.
yeah.
What's like is there like a platform?
No, I mean they just have like some mats or whatever, but the main thing is the plates.
They're rubber.
They're like the rubber
They're
plates.
rubber. Yeah, yeah.
And the other day I made the mistake of picking up the normal ones, and I dropped it, and it was like, and I was like, oh no! I
Like,
realized.
you used the metal ones?
Yeah, because I didn't realize.
Oh, dude.
No, because I wasn't even gonna do that. I was just deadlifting, but then I was like, I'm gonna do it just for fun.
Yeah.
And then I dropped it, and it was like, oh, even everybody looked, and like, and I was like, oh my bad, like, oh, it was
Yeah,
so
you're right.
embarrassing,
You're right.
dude.
Do other people do that then?
No,
No,
I've never seen anybody do that.
But like, not with with the plastic weights.
No.
People don't drop their weights. No, basically what you're saying, nobody trains like that.
Yeah.
Nobody trains snatches and cleans. Oh wow, okay. Well,
I
yeah.
never actually. The only time I ever seen it, I went to Lifetime Fitness once. With a friend that I used to work with. That he just got me a free pass. He's like, come through, bro. I'm like, and it is pretty lit. Pero and that's where I saw a guy doing more than me. He was doing like freaking 225, like 2 plates.
Oof.
But he was a big guy too. So yeah, I was like, damn, dude, like, and it was pretty cool. Like I saw a bunch of stacked people in there.
Yeah.
Like at Lifetime, I was like, damn, this is actually a high quality like stack.
Was that like a guest pass that you got in, or like a trial, 1 week trial?
Yeah. No, I just got like went with my friend. It was like a
okay.
1 or 2 time thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I just went once, and I lost a part of my clip. It was cool though. It was a good spot.
Nice. Yeah, Lifetime. I've been told it's pretty cool. I don't know. $100? Would you pay it?
No, because I mean, that's where I saw that guy dropping the weight, and that is worth it to me. Pero other than that, it's not any different. I mean, I guess they have some different kind of babysitting. They got some different kind of like a pool. They got like this whole pool like situation that's kind of sick. I mean, it's pretty exclusive. It's pretty cool. I think it would be worth it. I mean, if you lived in that area,
Yeah.
then it would be worth it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. No, that's true. I wish I could live around that area.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. What topics do we got today? What do you want to discuss?
So let's see. I want to.
Well, I mean, do you want to stay with your list, or should we just go off the top of our head?
No, I want to go off the list, dude, because I want to make it specific. So the main ones that I have are the bridge in Baltimore.
Yes, let's talk.
You heard about that, right?
There?
So that's one topic. The other one is Trump, his DWAC merger.
Yes.
That now he has his own Trump Digital Network or whatever, DJT, DWAC merger. Another one is that I've been hearing this phrase a lot of Christ is King.
Sure.
And that apparently is becoming an issue in the red pill community because of Jewish Christians. I don't know if Jewish are Christian or what.
Can I guess what you're about to say? That is considered anti-Semitic?
I guess.
How did I just know?
I don't know.
I don't know.
So that's what I'm wondering about. Yes, on kind of the same God topic, did you see like some girl from OF like converted to Christ, got baptized or whatever?
I didn't see that.
We'll talk about it. I'll show you a video.
Okay.
In Red Pill versus Red Pill, religious. I don't know if you saw Fresh and Fit. Andrew from The Crucible.
No.
That was so. He is a religious person, and so I just basically look what secular. You know what secular means? What is secular?
I've heard the term. I could not tell you what it
It
means.
means like some kind of action, object, or anything without anything spiritual about it, like 100% objective, but without spirit.
Okay.
I
Give me
guess
an
we'll discuss
example.
it. I don't know. We'll get into it.
Okay.
And the final one that I got is divorce.
Sure.
The left and the right. This whole saying loyal, like, cause I don't know if you saw the Crowder, the Louder with Crowder thing, cause he got divorced. Who else got divorced? That was a right pill person.
See, you know way more about this, but no, by all means, tell me. I want to know.
Well,
I'm
we'll see.
curious.
I mean, that's what I got. I don't know what topics you got.
Yeah. No, I think let's start off there, and then I'll try to add something because I think that's plenty to talk about for now.
Oh, dude, I'm getting fucking cold, dude. I'm gonna have to go like that. Let me go like this real quick because I can warm up.
It's not so cold. Actually, it's perfect. I really enjoy the weather right now.
So
am loving this. But no, I think those are great topics, man. I've heard about most of those throughout the week, just on my shows that I watch.
On your feed.
So yeah, let's start with the bridge. This bridge thing.
From what I have heard is that the theories are either that it was people that were hired not because of their technical ability, but because of their.
Well, let's say what happened, right? So the bridge incident was. Where did it happen?
Yeah, look it up, and we're gonna have to put it there or whatever.
Yes. Bridge collapse. So it's Baltimore.
It was on Tuesday morning.
Baltimore Bridge collapses. It doesn't collapse. Is it a cargo ship that ran into it, right?
Some kind of ship literally ran into one of the supporting pillars, and they're saying that it could have been a cyber attack, it could have been a terrorist attack, it could have been an accident, and each of these has its own real theories.
Yeah.
And so that's what we can discuss. Like.
Yeah. So Baltimore in Maryland. I mean, never been to the East Coast. At least not that part of the country. I saw footage of when it happened. Did you see the footage? Mm-hmm. It's oddly strange how it literally like backs up, comes back. Like literally, it's like aiming. It's like almost aiming to hit the pillar of the bridge perfectly, like spot on. Which is strange to me. It's like what? It seems like someone's literally moving this thing to make it hit this thing.
I mean, obviously they're driving it or whatever, but it just so happens. I mean, it could have gone anywhere else. If it was some kind of accident, it's too much of a coincidence that it would be that particular spot. Because I would think that when you're piloting a ship, if you're gonna go anywhere, you're going to navigate towards the farthest places from any kind of structural, like they would be going down the middle of the two things, mm-hmm. rather than one side or the other. I would think.
Yes.
Obviously, there's a current and there's things that I don't know about, but that's what you would think, right? I think that makes sense. So, out of all places, it literally narrowed down in a very specific area, and we know that cyber attacks are possible. We know that people could have on purpose did it, so either it was hacked, or they did it on purpose, or it was an accident.
Is there any other possibilities, such as a planned incident where
that will fall under the terrorism category?
So yeah, okay. And I'm not.
And cyber attack also could be terrorism, but at least it's like a different type. Like it's not like it's either they did it on purpose physically there, or someone else hijacked them, in which case they're innocent, the people who did it, or it was just a straight up accident. And so
I think the footage, when people watch the footage, it's just hard to believe that was an accident.
Yeah.
I could be totally wrong, but that's just what I got from watching the footage. Now, one thing I heard was that the federal government, Biden's administration, was pledging aid to either reconstruct the bridge or just to clean up, I guess. And I think somebody that I was listening to brought up the issue was like, why would they take federal money? Why can't they just do an insurance claim? And one of the reasons was like, if they do an insurance claim on this bridge, um, there's gonna be investigation as to what actually happened, and why would you want that, right? Because then, again, that's just theories.
Is that what's gonna happen?
No, I'm not for sure. I know. I just looked it up. Biden did pledge $60 million for aid, federal aid.
And every time that happens, that's taxpayer money, right?
That's just yeah, taxpayer money. Um, I don't know what it's exactly gonna go to. I don't think 60 million gets you a whole new bridge. Actually, I don't know. It sounds kind of cheap.
I have no way to know.
Yeah, it sounds a little cheap to me. But maybe for like the cleanup, that sort of thing.
And how long it will take? And people say that there's gonna be like repercussions as far as like
Well, someone's gotta get fired, for sure.
No, I mean as far as like
what do you
the
mean?
economy, like the economy
Oh,
and
really?
supply and stuff like that, because that's like in traffic in general, just like like the implications of like that. And I don't know.
Well, I'm sure it's a bridge. I mean, I'm sure it helps, connect two different points that would otherwise not have access to each other. So, who knows?
My understanding is that they're really dependent on that connection.
No, I'm not aware of it, but you're right. It makes complete sense.
So that means that it's gonna have to be retrafficked. I mean, this is gonna really mess up, I guess, the life of the people there.
Yes.
And even I don't know how if we personally will be affected, but yeah. I
don't think we will be. But it's certainly in that area you'll notice for sure. Because trucks go through it, especially like semi trailers carrying loads of inventory for stores and whatnot. So I'm sure that'll be affected. Final thoughts on this? What do you think is going to come of it? You think this is significant?
If there's no investigation, then that's wrong. There should be an investigation.
Absolutely.
But why wouldn't there be?
Again, and that was just a theory that I heard was that the reason that they're using federal aid instead of you just doing it like an insurance claim.
If it is the case that there's no investigation, then I think that's wrong. And
there's clearly something fishy if there's no investigation.
We know that
right?
There's corruption in so many different industries.
Yes.
Meaning that some people make certain decisions that will benefit them at the expense of others, rather than.
Would you say, let me pause you there, would you say it's more corruption or just sheer lack of knowledge or like just incompetence?
Yeah, there's the
what
two theories. It's either that's called Occam's razor, I believe, which is that don't attribute malice to that which can be explained by other things. Like don't assume that there's bad intention, that someone is purposely doing this. You should assume that it could be incompetence or something else.
And I feel like a lot of times is that.
I would say that that's the conditions that have been. So it's like we're in the aftermath of the malice. I believe that in the beginning there was malice, and then that kind of set forth the future for like it kind of set the dominoes because there was initial malintent to control the world basically. And because of the infrastructure that was in the infrastructure of power, the axes of power that were arranged in the beginning, they kind of made it so that the future would just kind of play into that structure, I guess. So now these kinds of bad things that happen are like you said, it could be incompetence, but within the framework of that initial malice.
Got it. That makes sense. So I guess to clarify, let me see if I got your point, but I think I did. Is you're saying that there is basically a large goal, a larger plan in which a lot of the people that work within it might be unaware, and hence a lot of incompetence might happen. But at the same time, they're still working towards that without even knowing. For example, middleman in the federal government, like in the bureaucracy, in some federal agency that no one knows about, like the SEC, Securities and Exchange Commission, that's filing paperwork, like stamping stuff, and they don't know. They don't know what they're doing. They're just doing it. It's their job. They don't care. They're just trying to pay their bills, right? And a lot of these documents might be fraudulent, but do they really care? What they're going to take their time to like investigate this? No, they're just stamping this stuff, approved, okay, fine, moving on, like that sort of thing.
Yeah, it's like negative things that wouldn't have happened otherwise.
Yeah.
Like if that initial condition of malice had been benevolent instead, then some of these things would not have happened.
Yeah.
So it does happen
I get
because
it.
of ignorance, because of incompetence, because of laziness, but because there was an initial condition that kind of set up the framework so that these types of lack of education and lack of diligence could happen. Whereas in another framework, we would have a culture of diligence and respect and honor and so on, which we lack currently. Because
Yeah.
and it's the so yeah, I guess that's my point, is that if nothing happens, then I would say we can attribute it potentially to an accident. Not if nothing happens, if no investigation is done, so at least we know.
That's what I'm saying.
I
It's
think
like
that's fair.
I think it's the only. It's like the minimum you can do, right? Conduct an investigation.
Yeah.
And figure out, like, dude,
And
that's
and preventing that from happening is wrong as well.
right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I guess we'll find out when we know
We'll
more.
find out. No, I'm interested in that for sure. What's your next topic that you got there? Oh, we got DJT.
Yeah.
The Donald.
Yeah, so what do you know about that?
Oh, okay. So let me lead off on that one. And here's what the little bit I know. I'm gonna wear on his companies, but there was this company called DWAC. DWAC. That's the ticker symbol. DWAC.
Digital World Acquisition Corporation.
Something like that. And it merged with Truth Social, right? And so now the combined company is called DJT. What is it? DJTI?
Donald something communications or something.
Yeah, essentially it's now publicly traded in the stock market. It just started trading sometime this week. It's since doubled in price. I looked up the chart Friday night. I'm like, what? This just happened? And so a lot of the talk is the company itself is way overvalued. I mean, we're talking like close to $20 billion.
Why you say that?
Because they're not making money. The company as a whole isn't making money. They're not profitable. If anything, they're losing money. It's a brand new company, right? It's comparable to a Rumble, I guess, in terms of business. Like that's the type of business they're in. It's a YouTube sort of competitor.
It's supposed to be ex-competitor.
Ex-competitor.
Or what Twitter was at the time, because we know that Trump was banned from Twitter, and so he couldn't speak to the masses, and he went and made Truth Social, which at the time was DWAC, owned by DWAC or something. And yeah, like you said, they merged, and now the company or the stock went way up, and it made Trump like billions overnight.
On paper, absolutely.
Well, yeah, on paper.
No, absolutely. And actually, I'll correct my my statement from earlier. It's actually only $7 billion, but on a company that is not profitable, $7 billion is a lot. Again, I have nothing. I'm all for it. What I've heard, the reason why people are buying the stock, and it makes sense to me. It's not even about the fundamentals of the company. It's not because they're making money or they're going to make money. It's simply almost think of it as like a GameStop. Did you hear about that GameStop rally back in 2020 or something like that? Where like it was a short squeeze. Basically, people were just piling on to kind of take it to the system.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. That's kind of what I see it as. I've heard, and I agree with that. I've heard that opinion, and I agree. I think people are like, dude, they're really messing this guy. They're really messing with this guy. Really trying to take him down. So this is our like middle finger to the system, and to help him out, sort of.
Yeah.
Thing. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah,
you know
that's part of it. And then the other part of it is that that's a legacy now. Like that's Trump's legacy.
Yes.
Like people believe in him. I heard Tim Pool say that people are not even necessarily buying the stock; they're buying Trump.
There you go.
They're buying a moment in time where, and the bottom moment in time where they decided to, support him in a way that they could, but also in a way that enriches them. And so it is a whole, he's monetizing himself basically. He made
Absolutely.
his own stock for his own self.
Yep.
And people are not buying it because of whatever you just said. I don't think a lot of people, I mean, I'm sure
Yeah.
some are,
Some might be,
but the rest are
but
not.
not
They're just
ma-
like, okay,
yeah,
like a
and
coin or something.
you
I
know
don't
his
know.
fan base, his MAGA fan base they're just diehard. They're not gonna, they're not gonna change their mind.
And more and more people are like, favoring Trump now.
I mean, even if they want, I feel like that's true, but I feel like a lot of them are also like closet Trump. They're gonna like I've been hearing a lot of people talk about this, and it's true. I mean, it's kind of obvious. They're not gonna come out and say, "Hey, I'm gonna vote for it." But when they go into that the ballot little whatever that thing is, where you actually got privacy, they're gonna hit that red button. They're like,
They gotta color it in.
they're not gonna tell you though, because they're embarrassed. They don't want to be known as the person who. I don't see why. Okay, I do see why though, because I think there's a lot of you'd be criticized way too much if someone knew. Like if you were a diehard, or you've always voted blue in your throughout your life, all of a sudden you're like, well, I gotta vote for the red guy because I don't like where things are going.
Yeah.
Your community, your friends, your family, you might get ostracized.
No, they commute you or ostracize you, right?
Yeah, you'll get ostracized by because you made that choice. I mean, it's messed up, right?
Yeah. No, dude. I think as far as like politics are concerned, it's like I think that it falls into like a quadrant.
Okay.
Like one is you're young. Like one of the quadrants is that you're young. The other one is that you're older. The other quadrant is that you're healthy, and the other one is that you're sickly. So depending on those two things, if you're young and sickly because your genetics like are not the best, you're gonna be a left-minded individual because you're not able to pull up yourself by your bootstraps because you literally have a negative disadvantage. Yeah. One, you're young because you haven't had time to accumulate anything.
Yeah.
Or to develop your skills or nothing. So you're young and dumb and all that. And you don't have the most favorable physical conditions.
Oh.
No, just your physical conditions. Because regardless of your environment, like because you're sickly. So so that makes the world kind of be against you. It's like those who have everything more will be given, and those who have nothing, everything will be taken. Like it's an effect that compounds. It's not that being young gets any better. You have to grind up. Like you can't like stay the same.
Right.
And if you're sickly, you need help because you can't pull yourself up by your bootstrap when you have a physical condition like that. So I feel like it's kind of a condition of those two elements. One is you're young, and a man as well, because women have it easier, or not easier, but differently as when they're young. They have it easier when they're younger, harder when they're older, whereas men have it harder when they're younger, easier when they're older.
Yeah.
So, but look at the opposite situation. If you're older and healthy and you have good genetics that you've had, even if you had good genetics when you're young, it doesn't necessarily favor you until you get good at something. So once you're older and you're good at something and you have good genetics, then you have the right to be, pull yourself, like you're gonna have that mentality.
Yeah.
I did it, I'm healthy, but they don't, that's what I don't like about some people, is like they don't acknowledge that you have some benefits that you didn't earn. You were just born with that shit.
Are you talking about just purely like, I'll give you an example, like say someone who unfortunately was born with the missing limbs or something.
Yeah.
So, is that what you're kind of talking about?
Yeah.
No, that's a great point, man, because I think we take that for granted. It's like,
yeah, we're healthy.
But see, not a lot of people will make that observation, like they're not cognizant of this. Like we just take stuff for granted.
Well, it's because we're healthy. So put yourself in that situation where you're not.
That's true, absolutely.
That's the bias. That's the bias that we don't even realize. It's like
yes.
we can even have this thought only because we're healthy. If we're not healthy, this is not you can't even get there because
Absolutely.
you can't. You physically can't. Therefore, mentally.
We've talked about this. Whenever you get injured, whenever like I had this little strain on my ankle, and I'm like, man, this is like I can't really walk straight. Like, and then you notice it, like whatever I would do anything to like just be able to walk normal, right?
Just walk normal.
Now just think of, and that's just like a little ankle sprain. Now imagine someone who was unfortunately dealt a bad hand, and they might have been born maybe paralyzed. I don't know.
Yeah,
You
there's
name
all kinds of conditions.
all kinds of conditions. Now, granted, that's what percentage of people in the world you say are handicapped?
Is the minority, right?
Right.
Pero it doesn't even necessarily have to be that. Like, for example, for men, our body mass, our height, our looks, to some degree, they play a determining factor in the way our life plays out. In some ways, until you at least become older and you get good at something. Because once you get at something, it doesn't really matter. Like Messi versus Cristiano, you know what I'm saying? Like Cristiano obviously is a specimen, whereas Messi wasn't, and then he was genetically modified a little bit. And then now look at him, right? So while you can't get there, and also he's kind of like, I think he was in the spectrum maybe.
Yeah.
So he was like a savant or something maybe. Who knows? But doesn't matter. The point is that like he made it there. And it takes hella hard work. It's not like he didn't put in hard work. He didn't just get there. You know what I'm saying? So there's that, but you don't get to develop that until you're later, and that's only the exception as well.
Right.
The rest, our physique is something that plays a big role in how we live our lives.
I think it certainly does.
And therefore, how we're gonna, what philosophy we're gonna have, left philosophy or right philosophy.
Do you think that truly determines whether you're gonna vote red or blue?
I would say that predictively, people who are sickly, younger, and or have unfavorable physical physiques,
I think it makes
would
sense.
be more likely to predictably be left philosophy thinking people, like collectivists.
Yeah.
Whereas somebody who is the opposite of that, somebody who is genetically gifted, healthy, and just those two things, is more likely to predictably be an individualist.
So let's continue with that, on that topic then. A big topic of discussion lately has been entitlement programs regarding, and goes back to the national debt, right? And this ties right into people that are sickly, right? Basically the discussion is, or the problem is, should we cut back on spending for these programs that are either to help the elderly, to help disabled people, or to help people of less, what would you call that? With less resources, lower socioeconomic status, and maybe troubled neighborhoods, whatever you want to call it. And that's a huge topic of debate. Most politicians are not willing to touch that. They're just not gonna touch it. They're like, nah, we're just not even gonna either not even talk about it and not even do anything about it. Now, is that right or wrong? Who knows? Who am I to say? I know France just recently pushed back the retirement age from, I believe, I don't know what age it was, 67 or something, 65, to like 69. No, like 62 to, either way, it increased by a few years, right? So basically you got to wait a couple more years to be able to claim your Social Security. Should that be done here in the States? I don't know. Should it? What do you think on that? And again, this ties back to people in need. Should we be taking care of our people that are most in need? I think if you ask it if you frame it as whether would that be a moral question, you tell me, or an ethical question? It'd be ethical, wouldn't it?
So I